you found a fancy-looking smartphone in the middle of a park and there's no one around, would you take it?
Depends. What kind is it?
Well, it's the kind that has its memory chock full of photos of a guy who's been shot in the head and his finger's been cut off.
I don't think that generally comes as standard. You know what? Probably best to leave it there.
Yeah, that's pretty much the conclusion that Jake Dobson comes to after he finds a phone which inadvertently makes him a witness to a murder, if indeed a murder happened.
Yeah, Andy Diggle really has laid down a bit of a twisty-turny plot in Snapshot, hasn't he?
Indeed.
I mean, was there actually a murder? If there wasn't, why is an assassin now after Jake? I mean, if you're gonna take photos of a guy that you've just shot in the head, why leave it out in a park in your phone? Why not just post them on Instagram if you want somebody to see the pictures?
Well, look, I doubt very much that this is going to revolve around a group of hipster assassins. But
Look, I put a filter on it. The bullet wound's oldie-timey now.
excellent.
Yeah.
But this is a story that kind of relies rather heavily on its central mystery,
Yeah.
which is kind of good because I didn't really like any of the characters.
They are a bit stereotypical,
Yeah.
I'll admit, but that doesn't make them unrealistic.
No, not at all.
You know, it's honestly the thing I had a bit of a problem with was probably the artwork, which is strange because I mean, with Jock, I've liked some of his other work. You know, with like The Losers, obviously, and a bit of Judge Dredd. He's actually got some good work out there. But in this one, I don't know, it all felt a bit flat and a bit undetailed.
Yeah, there are a lot of blank backgrounds through this. There's a lot of white space. I mean, there's some nice composition. There's also some nice perspectives. This is kind of an odd title for me because it took me quite a while to get interested in what was going on. But by the end of the issue, I was desperate for the next one. Diggle and Jock have worked on some pretty impressive stuff in the past, but the jury is out for me whether this one's actually going to hold up against those works. Ultimately, I'm going to give this one a borrow, but it's going to be a wait for the trade borrow. It's only a 4-parter, so you don't have to wait long. It's fine.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think so much rests on the central conspiracy of this story, as you say, that it's a little hard to give it a fair evaluation without knowing whether the payoff is going to be there.
Exactly.
I mean, certainly this one does leave you with a head scratcher at the end. There's a real cliffhanger, but is that enough? I'm really on the line on this one. I'm gonna give it a borrow.
Okay.
But I reserve the right to tip that over into a berry if this mystery isn't worth the journey.
Yeah.
I will say one thing though. One of the things I really liked about it, Near Mint Rhino, that may be the coolest name for a comic book shop ever. So
it was pretty good.
I did enjoy that.
Absolutely. We might take a look at it once it's in a trade. Excellent.